I truly don't have that many regrets in life. Everything happens for a reason. There's a lesson in everything. One of the things that I do regret is wasting most of my 20s playing video games, particularly League of Legends. At the beginning of this year, I swore off League of Legends forever. So much so to the point where I had to lock myself out of my account. The amount of times I've uninstalled and reinstalled that garbage on my computer, I can't even begin to count. I've tried to quit billions of times, and I always convince myself, my monkey brain always convincing me, you know, you've worked hard, you deserve a reward. We're bored. Let's play a game. And I'd reinstall it and get sucked into this destructive, disgusting cesspit of a false productive fucking thing. Okay. Now, I have here some interesting points about gaming in general, but particularly League. This can be applied to any professional or rather very competitive game. Rocket League, Apex Legends, CS:GO, Fortnite. Okay? So, I'm going to use League in this instance because it has been the bane of my existence for quite some time, and I'm 30. I'll be 31 this year for a point of reference. I spent so much time and money on this game. So I want you to understand first and foremost that League is not a game. It is a success simulator. And most men get sucked into this because they are competitive. And it's ambitious men that really play League. That's why it's so disgusting. It's not because you are lazy, so to speak, it's because you are driven. Men have a biological drive to conquer, expand territory, and climb hierarchies. Ranked games is the biggest pitfall for men like us. So the trick is League of Legends hacks the drive. It gives you a fake territory, the map, a fake hierarchy, which is rank and LP, ladder points, and fake battles, team fights. It is dopamine porn. Just as porn tricks your brain into thinking you are reproducing, League tricks your brain into thinking you are going to war. You get the feeling of accomplishment without the reality of assets, money, or strength. It is a false sense of achievement. Very low risk and very low reward. But your brain thinks that it's high reward because it's releasing dopamine. The highs from winning a game of League are very high. And the lows, as terrible and annoying as they are, in reality aren't that bad. You can just queue up for another game. So the algorithm is the Skinner box or the rigged casino. Riot Games and all other major studios, they don't just hire video game developers. They hire behavior psychologists and data scientists. It's their job not to make you have fun. It's their job to maximize retention, to keep you engaged, to keep you playing, to keep you engulfed in their trap. Buy their skins, pay your monthly subscription, however the model is for the game. They want you to be hooked, and they do a very good job of it. So the mechanism behind the Skinner box is variable rate enforcement. So hypothetically, if you won every game of League, if you won every single game, you'd get bored. Queue up, win, queue up, win, queue up, win. There would be no point, right? But if you lost every game, you would quit. If you were, yeah, like think about this. I want you to really think about this. There's an algorithm that forces a 50% give or take win rate. It gives you a win just as you are about to quit. It knows the win rates of other people. Like, that's why matchmaking is such a controversial topic. It's matchmaking for a reason. It knows how likely other players are to win and how likely they are to lose. So it pairs people up based off of the outcome that it wants each player to get. Yes, there is some skill involved, but that's a false sense of that's a false illusion. It's manufactured. You are not a cyber athlete. You are literally a lab rat pressing a lever for a pellet. You're queuing up for a game, just in hopes of getting that juicy, sweet LP, grinding for a rank that the system is mathematically designed to keep you chasing forever. So here we have the Skinner box, okay? It's basically to keep you engaged. You push a lever, sometimes it'll shock you, sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll get a pellet. That's League. It's League in a nutshell. So, the tilt effect, cortisol versus testosterone. How do you feel after a 3 hour session of League? And 3 hours is child's play. At least it was for me. We're talking like 8, 12, in some instances, 18 hours. Like, League was like one of the only games that I ever played in my life where you would literally forget to eat. Literally forget to eat. I would be in like a 16-hour straight game session and then be like, oh, wait, I have not eaten today. I'm starving. I'm going to play one more game and then I'll eat. Like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. There are some people that I played with who were literally on the game 24/7. So how do you feel after a 3 hour game session? Do you feel good? Happy? Powerful? No. Fuck no. You feel pissed, you feel drained, irritable, and foggy. Because League, much like all high octane games, we'll call them, induces high stress, which is cortisol, without physical release. You are sitting in a chair, your heart is racing, you are soaking in stress hormones. Your cortisol levels are through the roof. That's why it's such a toxic game. You have all these men sitting in front of their computers, grinding, stimulating their primitive core nature of conquer and achievement without actually exerting any of that built up stress hormone. It's like, think about that. And high cortisol kills testosterone. It kills creativity. It kills your ability to be magnetic with women. You are voluntarily bathing your brain in loser chemicals. Let me read that again. You are voluntarily bathing your brain in loser chemicals. You are killing your testosterone. Cortisol kills testosterone. Testosterone makes men men. So now let's break down the $1 million minions, the opportunity cost. So the average game is about 30 to 40 minutes if your team doesn't forfeit 15 minutes in. So you have 30 to 40 minute games, plus the queue, plus champ select, which ultimately brings every single game to an hour, give or take. The just one more mentality is 3 to 4 hours a night. Again, that's child's play if you are an addict, which I was. Fuck yeah, I was. So 3 to 4 hours a night, that's 20 to 28 hours a week. That is a part-time job. That is a part-time job. So if you put 20 to 28 hours of a week into the gym, you will have a Greek god physique in 6 months, depending on your metabolism. Could be less, could be more. But 6 months. If you put those 20 hours into a business, reaching out to clients, learning a skill, easily add 5K a month to your income. Easily. Especially with all the AI tools and everything that you can learn. If you put those 20 hours in the league, you get a shiny digital border that disappears next season, assuming you can actually fucking climb a rank. I'm saying all this, and I touched gold once. I played that game for like 12 years, bro. Yeah, get good, you're trash. It doesn't matter. That's the biggest thing. Like, none of this matters. If you're diamond, awesome, cool. You're probably broke. If you're bronze, cool. Yeah, you're probably broke. Like, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's not fun. It's not relaxing. It's not a way to unwind. That's cope. You don't feel good after a long gaming session. You don't feel proud of yourself. You don't feel relieved or rejuvenated. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And if I'm triggering something in you, just know that I was the most addicted person out of all my friend group to this game, bar none. I've spent so much time on this game. This game, if you could even call it that, has cost me so much. So much. My 20s, I spent playing this game. So if I'm triggering something in you by what I'm saying, there's a reason why you're being triggered. Like I said, I don't regret much in life. But if I could go back in time and bitch slap myself for even installing this shit 10, 12 years ago, I would do it. Oh, I would do it. Now, the last thing is the main character fallacy. When you play League, you are piloting a champion. You are making Ezreal or Darius stronger. You are buying items for them. And the truth is that, meanwhile, you, in the chair, you're level 1. You have no gold, no items, low stats. Think about that. Most people, myself included, were broke. This was a means of false achievement. A means of false achievement. Most people who play this game do not have any real world achievements, which is sad. So, my mantra for life is to gamify life. Life should be fun. The joy you get from playing video games should come from real life experience, real life achievements, leveling yourself up, getting your own items, getting your own experience, getting your own gold. That is my philosophy. So you can be a top laner in real life. You can grind the gold in real life. Build the build in the gym. Okay? So rank doesn't matter. The server doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the man in the mirror when the monitor turns off. Does he have a life that you are proud of? If not, press uninstall. So like I said, I literally had to uninstall the game multiple times, reinstall it, get pissed at not only the game but myself for continuously relapsing to the point where I had to go change my password to something random and delete the password on my phone. Like, I had to write down what the password was because you have to confirm the password, right? And then I just threw it out. Like, I had to ban myself from the game. It got to that point because my monkey brain would find any way to weasel back into the dopamine cesspit that is League of Legends. So, my brother, if there's anything that you take from this video, just know that you are being farmed, no pun intended, of your life energy, your life force. Not only your time, but your quality of life. You don't feel good after a good session of League of Legends. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So yeah, this is day 2 in the great lackening of 2026. I just felt like I needed to create a video on this because it is an extremely important topic for most men. Most men use video games as a coping mechanism, as an escape from reality when it is detrimental. There is no good that comes from these kind of games. And I'm not saying like single player story driven games are bad, or like Mario Kart and party games are bad. Video games have a place in society. Games have a place in society. This shit is not a game. This, like I said, this is a success simulator. It's a trap. Do better, be better. I say this with love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, peace.